Hello everyone, welcome to Options with Doug, streaming live daily on Bookmap Discord and the Bookmap YouTube channel at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And before I get started, I need to go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. As a reminder, the focus of my presentation and the focus of the Options Doug chat channel in Discord is options, order flow, the impact of options markets on stocks and futures, and the influence of market maker hedging flow on price action. I have a two-step process for trading, and the first is planning, and I use positional analysis, and I look at how traders and market makers are positioned in the options market to develop a thesis for the day and a thesis regarding expected trading range and volatility, as well as a directional bias. And the second step in my process is execution. And I look at real-time order flow in Bookmap and real-time market maker hedging flow in Spotgamma Hero to confirm my thesis and for entries and exits. And questions and comments are welcome. I will be watching the chat channel Options-Doug in Discord as well as the chat and YouTube. So again, questions and comments are welcome, and JEC confirms Disco audio is 100%. Great. So thanks for the confirmation. All right, today what I want to go over the usual items. We'll go over the news, economic data, events, and then our positional analysis, and finally we'll look at some setups. Okay, so first of all, the news. Again, the CPI came out yesterday, and then today, let's go here, and then today the U.S. retail sales came out and was much better than expected. Both the month over month was better than the previous number and better than forecast. That was the retail sales, the core retail sales, month over month, also better than the previous and better than forecast. And we'll look and see how the market reacted to that in a minute. So that was today. And then tomorrow, the PPI comes out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then Friday is the February options expiration. And we'll look at how traders and market makers are positioned on Friday to develop a thesis. If there's a build in negative gamma, for example, in the S&P 500, which doesn't seem likely given the move today, then we would look for a put Vanna rally. What may be more likely is looking for call gamma unwind in stocks that have really run up this week, where traders have been buying calls like Nvidia and Tesla. So we'll go over that more tomorrow. So that is that's the news, the events for the week. Now let's start with our positional analysis. And I'm going to start with a larger time frame view. And this is the SPX in a 20-day 1-hour chart, showing that last Thursday SPX broke this uptrend, then reversed higher, and that was around the SPY 405 level. And now for the last 3 days has been trading in a very narrow range between 4100 and 4150. So anybody trading non-directional trades in SPX is probably doing pretty well this week. And then this chart is just showing price and the Spotgamma levels. And this is updated for today. These are levels that are provided in a Thinkorswim script for Spotgamma subscribers. And this is showing the key levels for today, and we'll go over the levels in a little bit more detail in just a minute. So there's the put wall at 4,000. And then that's also the key gamma strike. Then the volatility trigger in the 0 gamma level right around, right under 4,100. And then the call wall at 4,200. This is showing the call wall. I think it may be showing it at 4,150, and that is, I'm looking at the wrong day. That is correct. So the call wall, the put wall increased from yesterday from 3,900 to 4,000, and the call wall decreased from 4,200 to 4,150. And again, we'll look at that in a little bit more detail. So those are the levels that are in play today. And again, SPX trading in a range between 4,100 and 4,150 for the last 3 days. And that range may continue into the options expiration on Friday, and then I would expect that range to expand one way or another after options expiration. Okay, so that's a long-term chart. Let's take a closer look. Again, just looking at a Thinkorswim chart here, and then we'll take a look at Bookmap in just a moment. So this is Thinkorswim. This is a 1-minute chart, and this is just showing today. So showing the levels that are in play for today, and again, SPX trading at a narrow range between 4,100 and 4,150 with a slight bullish uptrend. And here we've got 4,100, the 0 gamma, and the volatility trigger below, and the call wall above at 4,150. And note that SPX is trading above the volatility trigger in a positive gamma environment, and this is bullish, but in this positive gamma environment, market makers will be trading against price to hedge their delta exposure, and that tends to subdue volatility in a positive gamma environment. All right, let's take a look at Bookmap now. And in YouTube, Hank asked, does that script update automatically? And no, it does not, unfortunately. So you have to open a new text file every day and copy that, and then go in and edit your script in Thinkorswim with the latest. I delete everything in that script and then paste in the new script. So you have to do that manually every day. And on the other hand, so Bookmap, Spotgamma provides levels for a number of platforms. Thinkorswim is one that I use, as well as Bookmap. And Spotgamma provides cloud notes for Bookmap, and those are updated automatically. And this is not showing any levels in play in this current range. Let's just zoom a little bit. So here, this is showing again the Spotgamma levels, and this is showing the SPX 4100 level below there, and that was noted as support in the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. So it's showing, these cloud notes are showing SPX levels converted to an equivalent ES number. And right now, Spotgamma is using a 10-point difference between SPX and ES, and that's pretty close. And then I also have my own column of notes here. These C levels, cloud levels, these are my own cloud notes. And I'm marking SPY Spotgamma levels, key levels, as well as ES, big round numbers, 50s and zeros, and then the support levels that are noted in the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. So this is showing that SPX 4100 level as support, and then that's also the this 410 SPY 410 key gamma strike was also noted as support in the AM Founders Note, and it did act as support today. And that's shown there were several tests of the 410 level, and then finally price reversed higher. So overall, a pretty lackluster day in the S&P 500. So again, there are several approaches to today, and if you wanted to trade the S&P 500, I think just trading the range with I guess potential neutral strategies like Dave in Discord posted a double calendar SPX 0 DTE double calendar that looks like it's doing pretty well today. So that was a good approach. Good approach for the day. Instead of trying to find either that, or we'll talk about some setups, especially in stocks that are in the news like Airbnb today. If that's your style, if you like to chase those stocks that are in play in the news, that was a good trade. And again, we'll go over this. So that's the S&P 500 futures. And the levels, again, are shown on the chart, the levels that are in play. And that was the SPX 4100 level below, and the, let me just zoom in here, and this SPY 410 level that was also noted as support. All right, so that's the S&P 500 today, and again, we'll go over setups. So shifts and levels, I've already mentioned, and we'll go through again. So for the S&P 500, volatility triggers for SPX and SPY both increased. From SPX, the volatility trigger moved up from 40.60 to 40.95, and the volatility trigger is Spotgamma's gamma flip level, where market makers' position on the gamma curve would flip from negative below to positive above. So I've already mentioned that SPX is trading above the its volatility trigger, and that is considered bullish. And it's a SPX, market maker's position as far as SPX goes, is in positive gamma. So again, SPX and SPY volatility triggers shifted up, and for the SPX, the put wall shifted up as well from 3,900 to 4,000, and then the call wall shifted down from 4,200 to 4,150. And we will look at the absolute gamma levels and see what's going on and how traders are positioning themselves into the February expiration, and market makers are positioned as well. And then for QQQ, the key gamma strike moved up from 300 to 310, and that's bullish when the key gamma strike increases. And we'll look at my key gamma strike spreadsheet in just a minute and see what that looks like. Okay, let's take a look at the absolute gamma charts for the S&P 500. So this is the SPX, and there is the 4,000 key gamma strike or absolute gamma strike, and that's the strike with the largest absolute gamma, puts and calls. So this chart, here's the zero line, this is showing market makers' position at these different strikes, and call gamma or call gamma or positive gamma is shown above the zero line. So the black lines are showing call gamma, positive gamma, and below the zero line that's put gamma or negative gamma, and that's shown by the teal bars. So again, this 4,000, that is the absolute gamma strike, and now it is the put wall as well. So that's the strike with the largest net negative gamma, and that can be expected to act as support. And then the call wall has moved down to 4150 here, and that's the strike with the largest net positive gamma, and that can be expected to act as resistance. So right now, I think the primary thing to note is the build of both call and put gamma between 4,000 and 4150. So this range has narrowed down a little bit, and there is, there's certainly some call gamma, positive gamma at 4,200 as well. So this is the, at least for today, this range has narrowed down. So again, remember the put wall moved up from 3,900 to 4,000, and the call wall moved down from 4,200 to 4,150. So the range of put and call gamma has narrowed to this range, 4,000 to 4,150. And 4,000 can be expected to act as support, and 4,150 as resistance until something changes. And those gamma levels are tight, but it's it's pretty clear when you look at this chart. Okay, here's SPY. And the 410 is still the key gamma strike, or the absolute gamma strike. 400 is the put wall. And then 418 is the call wall. So no changes in these levels for SPY. So the range in SPY is really a little bit wider. 400 being the largest net negative gamma, the put wall, and then gamma up to the 420 level. And by definition, 418 is the call wall. That's the strike with the largest net positive gamma. So there's the range for SPY, a little bit wider than SPX. All right, that's the S&P 500 and those levels that I was talking about before. Now you can see exactly where they come from. The put wall, the call wall, and the key gamma strike for both these, SPX and SPY. Here's QQQ. Let's just zoom in. Now the put wall is down at 290, and that's the strike with the largest net negative gamma again. And 300 is a large gamma strike, but the 310 now is the key gamma strike. So really for QQQ, it looks like gamma is concentrated mostly between 300 and 310. All right, so I think the thing to note here, especially for SPX and SPY, is the build of call gamma above. Although Spotgamma in the AM Founders Note took a little bit of a bearish stance today based on the call wall dropping. But, to me it looks like, let's just go back and look at SPX. There's definitely, to me it looks like there's a build of call gamma up at 4100 to 4150, and certainly you can see why this 4150 would act as resistance or potential resistance. So build of call gamma above the key gamma strikes for both SPX and SPY. All right, let's take a look at the data. So a couple things to point out. First of all, the Spotgamma one-day implied move plus or minus 41 points. And let me just check my watch list and see what. And that's the SPX from the RTH open, and right now it's gone nowhere. I've got it's down 0.2 points. So that if you sold a straddle for today, you would have done pretty well in SPX. All right, so that is the expected range, and that so far that's not playing out. And one potential reason, and that really doesn't line up with some other information like this gamma notional here. So this is the gamma notional market maker's position on the gamma curve, and this is showing SPX in the left column, SPY in the middle column, and QQQ on the far right. So again, this is market maker's position on the gamma curve, and for SPX it's positive, and that means that as far as SPX goes, market makers, traders are short calls, market makers are long calls, and as price increases, they have to sell futures to hedge their delta exposure, and when price drops, they can buy back their short hedges. So they're in a positive gamma environment, they're trading against price, and that tends to subdue volatility in a positive gamma environment. And then for SPY, it's negative gamma, so that means that, just looking at SPY, that traders are long puts, market makers are short puts, and they have to sell futures as price drops to hedge their delta exposure. And then as price increases, they can buy back their short hedges. So that tends to increase volatility in a negative gamma environment with market makers trading with price. And then for QQQ, this is pretty much neutral, minus 12. So all of these levels shifted to more positive or less negative from yesterday, and I compare morning to morning. So yesterday morning, SPX gamma notional was 287, so today it increased to 305. Yesterday, SPY gamma notional was minus 689, and today it's minus 585, so a little bit less negative. And then yesterday, gamma notional for QQQ was minus 141, and today it is minus 12. So again, less negative for QQQ as well. All right, let's take a look at the Vanna charts, which provide a graphical illustration of what I was just talking about. So what this is showing is market makers' delta notional or delta exposure. That's the vertical axis, and then the horizontal axis is showing how that delta notional changes with changes in price and changes in implied volatility. That's shown by the green curve. That's the current expiration, and that change with change in delta with a change in implied volatility is called Vanna. That's the Vanna effect. And again, that's the change in delta as implied volatility changes. And what this is showing is that as price increases, market makers' delta notional increases, and they have to sell futures. They want to remain delta neutral, so they have to sell futures to hedge their delta exposure. So that's SPX. Remember, that was positive gamma. Then for SPY, negative gamma, so it's just the opposite again. As price decreases, market makers' delta notional increases, and they have to sell futures. But this is I take this SPX and SPY as mostly fairly neutral. And then here's QQQ. This is definitely showing neutral. And market makers, given the range of movement shown on this chart, are not really going to have much hedging to do one way or another, according to this chart. And this is based on the beginning of the day market makers' position, assuming they're delta neutral at the beginning of the day. All right, so remember, I'm going through my planning process here, and next thing that I want to look at, this is a spreadsheet that I track every day of the key gamma strike, and this is just one part of my process, just an easy visual representation, tracking whether the key gamma strike for these stocks increased or decreased from the previous day. So this previous key gamma strike column on the right is showing the key gamma strike for yesterday, and the current key gamma strike column is for today. And then I color code these, and green indicates that these levels all increase from the previous day, and red increase that the key gamma strike decreased from the previous day. So just looking at this on the surface, this looks fairly bullish. A lot of these, and I trade and track mostly large cap tech stocks with a few higher beta stocks thrown in. So Microsoft, Moderna, Netflix, Nvidia, QQQ, Snowflake, AMD up above, and Block, key gamma strike all increase for these stocks. So that's bullish. So again, I'm doing all this, my planning process, to develop a thesis for the day, and I'm mainly focused on the S&P 500. And here's a note, just a snippet of a note that was in the Spotgamma AM Founders Note. For today, we would give an edge to the market holding the 4100 to 4160 range, and that's SPX. And so far, they were right on target with that. And that is what I was expecting today, given the somewhat neutral gamma notional and what the options expiration approaching, what the SPX has been doing the last couple of days. So, so far this is right. And looking at the key gamma strike list and the increasing key gamma strike for a number of stocks, I had a slight bullish, I guess a slight bullish bias and expecting this range to hold. So looking for, I guess, range day type trades. All right, so let's take a look at some setups now. So I'm going to start with Hero here, and this is Spotgamma Hero, showing real-time options trades and market maker hedging flow. And what this is showing, I'm going to zoom in on the morning, and Hero was showing, I guess, slightly supportive hedging flow for longs this morning. And here we're, remember this key gamma strike was noted as support, the 410, this is SPY 410 key gamma strike. So a couple longs here at that 410 level with a slightly supportive hedging flow. All right, so let's go take a look at Bookmap now. So here's ES, and we'll look at SPY. And there's the test of the support level, then 410 key gamma strike list. And slightly, I guess a slightly positive cumulative volume delta, as well as buy stop orders. That's shown by the rising dark blue line, that's CVD, and the rising yellow line, that's buy stops. But kind of a choppy, bullish trend higher. And this, let's go back and take a look at Hero again. So the hedging flow was slightly bullish up until about 11 o'clock, and then has definitely shifted to negative delta starting again around 11 o'clock. And let's see what, so traders are buying puts today, so they're buying calls. And you can tell by the rising orange line and the positive notional value here. And then the negative notional value, they're buying puts. And that is a larger number than this number. And the line is steeper as well. So yesterday, this had the effect of setting up a short, but today not so much, not so far anyway. All right, so that's SPY, and let's go back to Bookmap now. Let's take a look at SPY. So SPY continues higher, even though order flow, shown by cumulative volume delta here, is bearish, and hedging flow is bearish as well. So maybe this 413 C1 level will act as resistance. and I kind of hope it does. My long-term positions are negative delta at this point, so yeah, I'd like to see it go down. But again, remember the expected top end of the range is up here. Let's see, that would be, so we're actually looking for 415. So here, these levels up here are potential upper end of the range. That's the SPX 4150 level, and then the SPY 415 level. Okay, so a little bit difficult trade in SPY today. Some short longs that were supported by hedging flow, not supported by order flow so much. Again, notice the falling CVD. So again, it looks like JEC with his strangle today and Dave with his double calendar had the right approach, I think, to trading SPX. Okay, let's take a look at some stocks now. And we'll go back and start. I'm just going to go through this list. This is Apple. And there was a, this is definitely bearish hedging flow. And it took a while to play out. And I would have a hard time taking a long in Apple. So there was a short around just before noon. So let's take a look. So again, remember we were looking for a short and around 1150 to 12. So let's go take a look at Bookmap now. There's Apple. A long would have been a better trade, but definitely not supported by hedging flow. So there's the short 1150 to 12 with that. There's a buy sweep. All these green dots kind of be like a stop run potentially up into this level, and then a move lower. So good for a point and a half. So not much to write home about there in Apple, and that's pretty much the story for today. So here's Amazon. And let's take a look at Hero. So there's Apple. And with Amazon, there's a little bit better confirmation between hedging flow and price action. And a long, about 1050. So let's go back and take a look at, Bookmap. So there's Amazon, a lot of chop around the 99 level, and then price starts to move higher as traders started taking positive delta positions. So right around here, with a target at the 100 key gamma strike. So price at that level, dropped down, found some resistance there, and now is moving higher again. And it looks like order flow has definitely shifted to bullish. Notice the green dots coming in. Let's just take a look at CVD. We should see the increase, the move up in CVD corresponding with the green dots coming in there. All right, that's Amazon. And let's go back. Let's take a look at Hero. Take a look at Coinbase. And there's a strong confirmation here between hedging flow and price action. And that's on my other computer. If I have time at the end, I'll go take a look at that. There is another good setup that I want to look at as well. And we'll look at that in a minute. So the next, Microsoft, and confirmation long and short based on hedging flow shown by Hero. Let's take a look at Bookmap. So there's the short of the morning, then consolidation between around the 266.50 level and the 268 level, and then this final sweep down into the liquidity at 266.50, and then price starts to move higher and confirmed by hedging flow. Let's just make these dots a little bigger. Let's check CVD. And it's actually been bullish all day, so definitely confirming longs here. And you can see all the green dots coming in here. And it looks like price is heading for the 270. That's the key delta strike, and also the liquidity at that level. Let's go back and take a look at Hero. So traders started buying puts, or selling puts, buying calls and selling puts, and especially buying calls, and that's shown by the rising orange line just after noon. All right, so that's Microsoft. And we'll take a look at Nvidia. Confirmation long and short, pretty choppy hedging flow. And so really, watching this closely, confirming longs and shorts if you like to trade Nvidia. So that's Nvidia. Again, hedging flow confirming longs and shorts. Let's take a look at Bookmap. And in the morning, you can see all the pink dots. This was definitely confirming a short. Seeing all that, just a great short. And then notice the shift in order flow. Right at the between the 221 and 222 level, the shift in pink dots to green dots. Price moves higher, pulls back to the 223 level, and continued higher to this liquidity at the 227 level. And Nvidia has been pretty bullish all week, so this is a stock that we will be looking at for a call gamma unwind, potential call gamma unwind on Friday. Traders have been buying calls, market makers sell the calls, and they buy stock to hedge their delta exposure. And these calls they're buying are calls that expire on Friday. So as Friday expiration approaches, those calls will start to, the out-of-money calls will start to lose value due to the passage of time, and that's charm. And then we can watch implied volatility as well, and that often drops as well. So that would be the Vanna effect. But we're kind of looking for the charm effect there. So those calls lose value, market makers' delta exposure decreases, and they can sell stock. They don't no longer need their long stock to hedge their delta exposure since their delta is dropping. But for today, so far, after around 10 a.m., order flow shifted somewhat bullish, hedging flow bullish, and Nvidia is moving higher. And we've looked at SPY. Let's see what SPY is doing. So heading up now, it looks like it got past the 413 C1 level. That's a combo 1, so that's a high amount of SPX and Spotgamma at that level. Heading up to the 4150, SPX 4150 level. And let's see what options traders are doing in SPY. And they're still fading this move. Let's just take a look at we'll change this rolling window to 30 minutes, and that gives us a little bit more clarity, but still pretty choppy. Positive delta trades, negative delta, and then shifted back slightly to positive delta there. Meanwhile, price continues to rise. So I think a pretty difficult read on the S&P 500 today. And again, I think the neutral strategies, time selling premium should, again, working well today in the S&P 500. All right, Carmo Trades ask, how do I draw the key delta strike, key gamma strike for stocks? And the way I do that, I use an add-on that's available in the Bookmap marketplace called Price Lines. And those levels I get from Spotgamma every day in Equity Hub. So this is where those levels come from. So for example, here's SPY. That's where those levels come from. I enter those in a spreadsheet, and then Price Lines uses the Cloud Notes feature of Spotgamma to display the labels. Let's go look at SPY. So Spotgamma or Price Lines displays these labels and then draws the lines. And I have asked, and this is time consuming for all these stocks, just to fill out this spreadsheet every day. But it's better than drawing these manually in custom notes. So anyway, this is what I do now, and I have different colors for different, these mean different things. So a Spotgamma level is shown with a white line a white background and red text, and yellow with black text is just a round number. And then there's again a Spotgamma level at 413. And then I'm also adding in, and I just recently started doing this, adding in the SPX level. So I convert or find the ratio of SPX to SPY, and I calculate that every couple of days, and then I show the equivalent, I show the SPX levels in my chart as well. Okay, I'm looking at questions and comments in Discord. And Carmo Trades, are you are you using both levels on a daily basis? So I use all the levels. So let me just show something here. So this, oops, Spotgamma provides these pop-up notes for SPX, SPY, and QQQ, and I've dismissed or closed the SPY and QQQ levels, but this is for SPX, showing the SPX level, the equivalent ES level, and their cloud notes are based on this, but I use this for SPY to draw all these levels. So the equity hub shows the 5 main levels. That's the put wall, call wall, key gamma strike, hedge wall, or volatility trigger for SPY and QQQ, and the key delta strike. And so those are the primary levels, and then these notes for SPY also include these intermediate levels, like this 413 C1 level. That's not one of the 5 main levels. So anyway, that's how I do that. So looking through notes, and again, I've asked Spotgamma to provide these levels for stocks, and I don't know if they're planning on doing that or not, but that's one of my requests to Spotgamma. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. And let's go to Hero and look at Tesla. So there's Tesla. And overall, pretty bearish hedging flow. Setting up some shorts in the morning, and that was definitely confirmed by order flow in Bookmap. Let's go take a look at Bookmap. Trying to do several things at once here. So, Tesla overall today is bullish up on the day, but hedging flow and order flow, notice all the pink dots in here, definitely order flow is bearish, and we just saw that hedging flow was bearish. So setting up some short entries here. And let me just check on something here. So right now Tesla is up about 1.5% for the day, even with the bearish hedging flow and order flow. All right, then I've got a few minutes left. I want to show a couple of stocks on my other computer. So another way to approach this Spotgamma Hero dashboard here provides a list of trending stocks, both up and down. And notice this Roblox has been in the news. I think they reported earnings. The same for Airbnb. And notice the strong hedging flow, all bullish. Traders buying calls and selling puts. And I've got this on another computer. I'm going to share my screen on the other computer and we can look at Airbnb in Bookmap. So here's Airbnb in Bookmap. Strong uptrend. Notice all the buy sweeps this morning. These small green dots. Not a lot of liquidity there, and a jump straight up from 130 at the open to 135, 136. And then more of a steady uptrend after 10, up now to 138. Let's go back to Hero. And again, notice the strong hedging flow supporting that uptrend. So traders were buying calls, selling puts, and market makers were selling calls and buying stock to hedge their delta exposure. Okay, Carmo Trades, you're welcome. And Dave says, you're not kidding, getting ready to trade using this method is a 2-hour process for me. It's not quite that long for me. I think it probably takes me about an hour to go through, read the AM Founders Note, note all the key levels, and I just jot that down in on a trading notebook, paper and pen, and then I fill out my spreadsheets. And there's a question, what drawing tool do I use on the screen? And that is Epic Pen. And I assume you're referring to that. And that's Epic Pen. And that's just for drawing on the screen. It's not a permanent mark like you can make with like in Bookmap with the drawing tools. And JEC says he uses Zoom It. I'm not familiar with that. Epic Pen is okay. Maybe worth taking a look at Zoom It. So I would actually like a tool that does highlights. So anyway, that is that's all I have for today. So again, I talked about the S&P 500. What was working today, the thesis was for a trading range, somewhat bullish, and most of the stocks that I follow were pretty similar to the S&P 500. So not a lot to see there. And again, another approach was to look for stocks like this, like you look for Roblox. Oh, that's pretty choppy. Coinbase, strong uptrend, and again Airbnb. Okay, so that's all I have. And again, remember tomorrow, PPI at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and then options expiration on Friday, and we may get some good setups based on Friday, based on how market makers are positioned, their gamma position for both the S&P 500 and for stocks. So thanks again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your questions and comments. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.